Welcome back to my views and news. Continuing our coverage of ongoing conflict in Sudan. Several updates for you. Dozens of Egyptian soldiers have surrendered in Sudan. Rapid Support Force RSF, led by General Hamdan Dagalo Hamati, took control of a base in northern Sudan where Egyptian Air Force members were deployed. What were they doing there? Where is this Air Force base? Because we have been seeing that lately Egypt has been upping the ante against Ethiopia, because Ethiopia is planning to start fourth filling of Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. A few weeks ago, Arab League passed a resolution backing Egyptian stance, asking Ethiopia to come to the table for a legally binding agreement. US, EU have also been putting pressure upon Ethiopian government. At this crucial time, Egyptian soldiers have been found on Sudanese territories. We know that at the start of this month, Egypt and Sudan conducted joint military drills. Question is, where were drills conducted and where were today's soldiers deployed when they were arrested by RSF led by Hamdan Dagalo? Before that, some updates of today about ongoing conflict in Sudan. Now, Rapid Support Force led by Hamdan Dagalo, its claim is that today's conflict started after Sudanese army encircled a camp of Rapid Support Force in Soba camp, which is in Khartoum. Though RSF members have been entering Khartoum since last month, Ethiopian army has been warning RSF members. And after that, Hamati announced the launch of operation to take control of all bases, military bases, Air Force bases, strategic sites in Sudan. So the war is not just limited to Khartoum now, because Rapid Support Force has shared some videos from other areas with details for you. And then we saw fight for the control of presidential palace in Khartoum city, fight for the control of Khartoum airport, where a Saudi airplane came under attack, though the passengers remained unharmed, and Saudi government has confirmed that Saudi airplane was caught in gunfire on Khartoum airport. Fighting for control of radio station, television channel. Fighting is ongoing. It's difficult to say who is in a stronger position. But Rapid Support Force claims that it has taken control of 4 main bases and airports. Firstly, Merowe Air Base to the north of Khartoum, from where Egyptians have been captured, Egyptian soldiers. Jabal Aulia to the south of Khartoum, from where a video has been shared by RSF fighters. Then from Al-Fashir, they have shared a video. Al-Fashir airport under their control. And from West Darfur, they claim that Shahid Sabira airport is under their control. So 4 airports and bases are under the control of RSF so far, reportedly, which has been visually confirmed. Visual confirmation is only about these 4 bases and airports, though RSF is making other claims too. Other claims have not been confirmed so far that RSF is completely in control of Khartoum airport or Khartoum presidential palace. Fighting ongoing there. On the other hand, Sudanese military claims that presidential palace, Khartoum airport are not under the control of RSF fighters. That all claims are false claims. Sudanese army says Kassala, Gaddaraf, Hamish Korib are under full control of Sudanese army, and these are eastern Sudan territories, which are on Ethiopia, Sudan, Eritrea, Sudan border. And yes, traditionally RSF did not have large-scale presence in eastern Sudan. Their main presence has been in western Sudan, Darfur, etc., and in central Sudan as well to some extent. In central Sudan, they have spread their influence recently. So, Sudanese army claims that RSF is lying. It is making false control. Sudanese army is in control of the situation. RSF is just a militia. It will be handled according to Sudanese law, and the situation is under control. On the other hand, RSF claimed that it is just sweeping across Sudan, controlling main strategic places and bases and airports. So things will be clear in coming days. It's too early to say which side has advantage so far. Egyptian soldiers have been captured from Merowe Air Base. Merowe Air Base is obviously in Sudan, to the north of Sudanese capital Khartoum. How far is it from Egypt-Sudan border? Around 300 kilometers. So it's deep into Sudan, but it's far away from Ethiopian border too. At the start of this month, Egypt and Sudan conducted joint military drills. But those were naval drills on Port Sudan. There was no involvement of Merowe Air Base, I think, in those drills, which ended in the first week of April. So what are Egyptian soldiers doing on Sudanese soil? Were they planning something in case of confrontation with Ethiopia? Because recently we have seen that Egyptian officials have been issuing statements trying to put pressure upon Ethiopian government. Ethiopia about to start in coming months a fourth filling of Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, which has been a disputed project between Ethiopia, Egypt and Sudan. And Egypt led a resolution a few days ago at Arab League asking Ethiopia to come to the table for a legally binding agreement. Ethiopia rejected the resolution, saying that African solutions to African problems talks can only be held under the auspices of African Union. Egypt trying to involve US, trying to involve EU as well, but no direct dialogue so far between Egypt and Ethiopia. And tensions rise every year before filling of gold, which Ethiopia does on a yearly basis. Now, capture of Egyptian soldiers on Sudanese territory is a big news. Why? Because Egypt could be drawn into this conflict, especially if RSF starts having an upper hand in this confrontation. Egypt might be involved in support of Al-Burhan government, in support of Sudanese army. Because if you remember, in 2021, I think March 2021, Egypt and Sudan signed a military cooperation agreement about trainings, about border management, etc. So Egypt could say that since it has military cooperation agreement with Sudan, that is why its army is entering Sudan to support Sudanese army. This conflict could escalate, and if Egyptian army enters Sudan, what is going to be Ethiopian response? Ethiopia has been trying to keep Egyptian army away from its borders. Ethiopia will never tolerate a movement of Egyptian army in areas close to Ethiopia's Sudan border. Egypt has been trying to establish a military base in Ethiopian neighborhood, in Djibouti, in Somaliland, in Somalia. Egypt has been in talks to establish a military base. Ethiopia opposing. Ethiopia did not allow Egypt to establish a military base in its neighborhood. Now Egypt has an opportunity to enter Sudan to back Sudan's military if Sudan's military is unable to control RSF fighters. So this conflict, if it goes on, could turn into a regional conflict. It has other repercussions too. We'll keep analyzing in coming videos. Repercussions for Ethiopia, for Eritrea, etc. For Fashaga too, captured by Sudanese army, taking advantage of war in northern Ethiopia. Now it's Ethiopian turn, which might take advantage of internal conflict in Sudan to take back Al-Fashaga. I have some clips for you. Two shared by Rapid Support Force of Hamdan Dagalo. First one shows Egyptian soldiers captured by RSF fighters from Merowe Air Force Base. Second clip is from Jabal Aulia Air Base, which is situated south of Khartoum. Third clip shows Al Burhan monitoring the situation. He is there in command. Watch the three clips. Thank you for watching.
والله الراجع السوداني ما راجع
الله اكبر الله اكبر جاهزيه اسرع حزم او ده انجزنا المطار بتاع جبل اولياء الجويه القاعده الجويه بتاع جبل اولياء هاي الطيارات الدبابات الوطن كلها الله اكبر
الآن الله أكبر الله أكبر الآن من داخل قاعدة النجوم الجوية تم تحرير بالكامل إن شاء الله. جاهزية سرعة حسم.
الله أكبر
الله أكبر.
والله احنا ولا السيد القائد السيد الفريق أول محمد حمدان قائد هو قدام السريع والرئيس الآن ما نقولوا النائب.
الحمد لله تم السيطرة تامة على مطار الجنينة.
الله أكبر
الله أكبر
الله أكبر
الله أكبر
الله أكبر.
الدعم السريع تم سيطرة
الله أكبر
على مطار الجنينة.
الله أكبر.
الحمد لله المطار تحت السيطرة والحمد لله.
الله أكبر
الأمن
الله أكبر.
شكرا جزيلا.